Hi everyone, it's Jenny here from Jen Skinner Art. I have another journal flip through to show you, and this one was a whole year in progress, and as you can see it's an altered children's book. But what is so incredible about this one is that I started it as a very small project and I would share it with my library classes each week. And the students got really involved and would give me missions. So they would come to me with some little scrap or piece of junk or something that they'd found, and they would say, "Mrs. Skinner, I have a challenge for you, a mission, if you choose to accept it." And it became a real interactive experience between the children and myself. So the poor Saggy Baggy Elephant ended up needing to be completely cut apart and put together in signatures, but I'm going to give you a flip through at the moment. And on the cover there's a few items already. So one student gave me this little bit of red and blue plastic which was hollow like a straw, and I think it was electrical tape. And another student gave me an old bit of wire, and so I added the two together, a heart, and made it a little bit of bling on the front cover. Another student gave me one of these large rings, and she said, "Mrs. Skinner, you know, here's your mission if you choose to accept it." So what I ended up doing was pulling the big diamond off the top and turning it into a flower, and it actually has glitter and sprinkles on the inside. And then I later used this for stamping, and I'm going to keep that in my collection. I can keep using that. Anyway, so some of the items through here are made by myself, and others have been given to me by students, and my mission was to use it in my artwork. One gorgeous girl actually made me my own book wrapped in a ribbon, and I absolutely adore that, so it gets tucked in there. I had a great time with a student making cutouts with a puzzle punch, and so I used that idea to inspire this piece of work. And I've been asked to make pop-outs, so here's my pop-out. I was asked to use styrofoam balls, so there's a little one there in the corner of the plastic, as you can see. And one of my first challenges, I was given an elastic band, and I thought, what am I going to do with that? And in the end I put little dabs of ink on the page, and then I stretched the elastic band up and let it go into the ink, and it just splattered everywhere, so that was a lot of fun. Here's some of those puzzle pieces that I was telling you that I had cut out with in one of my art classes. So I've got buttons that had belonged to my mother-in-law. Here is the ring stamp here. I was given the ribbon, and my mum's into bohemian journaling at the moment, so I got some paper from her and added the two together. Finding heart-shaped leaves, finding feathers, some of my own collage work in here. This challenge was one of my very early ones, and I've got a couple of clips here because I have the two boys' names who gave it to me. But these are actually Velcro sticky dots, and it's the furry side, not the prickly side. I'm not sure if you can see that. So they gave them to me and said, "Here is your mission, Mrs. Skinner." So I stuck them first of all on this page, then I sprayed it purple, actually with a Dilutions ink, and then I peeled the dots away and I was left with the white marks, which I've then gone ahead and filled in, and then I've decorated the page and turned it into flowers. But I still had the sticky dots, so I thought, how about I do a inverted lady beetle theme? So I coloured all the Velcro dots red added a few extra, and I've made a lady beetle that is black with the red dots. Here was a strip of coloured paper I was given, so I've used that. It's like a paper, but it looks like fabric, and it's in those sort of bright sari colours, so I've made a little bow and tag. These were other items that I was given, and this is some of that ribbon. Then as I've learnt things along the way, I've taught the students. So this is how to make a hidden pocket. So, and inside that I've got more little treasures that students have given me to include in my journal. So it opens up and you can just keep opening it, and it's actually made from an A4 size piece of paper, and everything's tucked in there. And then this is one of the earrings that I wore for book week this year, 2022. I was given a leaf and it was so fragile, and I was worried about what I could do with it, and I was also given this stick that had the lichen, and in the end I sandwiched it through some tissue paper, and then the tissue paper had jelly print on it, and I went over the jelly print and embellished it with gold and added the stick for a stem. And thank you, Nirvana. So some of these are just bits and bobs that I've been given, and I can't possibly name all the children, but this was another little sticker I was given, and it inspired the colours for this spread. I was given an old piece of brown paper, so I turned it into a tree, and again used some old jelly prints that I cut up for the ground. I was asked to use metal in my journal, and I ended up thinking, what do I have at home that's metal? And I decided to work with alfoil, so I've actually made a 3D heart. I've put a timber heart in underneath the alfoil on a piece of cardboard and then dyed it. Some more embossing. This was a piece of rubber I was given. I'm not sure if you can see it. I have no idea what it is off, and it had me stumped for a while, and in the end I thought I could turn that into a stamp. So I glued it onto the heart, and then all these black markings that you can see have actually been stamped from that bit of rubber. And this was an old clip I found that I've had. I was given a lot of leaves, so I scrunched them all up and put them down into this tube here. One of the first things that I was also given was a little bit of this silver tinsel, and so I decided I'd use it to weave in amongst some paper. So that's there. Lots of books because we're in the library. Secret letters in here. Special gift tags. I was given a piece of white scrunched up paper that the student she'd had trouble making the little hexagonal pocket I showed you earlier, and she got frustrated and screwed up the paper and then said, Mrs. Skinner, use it as a challenge. This was a coaster given to me by a friend, and just a cardboard one, and then I decided that I would age it and put it in. Another student said, Mrs. Skinner, you need a book within a book and use an elastic band, so that's what I've done here. And I've got in this end bit there's a little pocket, and in it I have all the names of the children who gave me the challenges, so I've always got that. And lastly, I was given a chatterbox to put into my journal. I used some old library cards, and then the children have actually written their names and messages all the way through. So that is really, really special, and I can keep it in my old CD packet there. And that's the end. So it's been incredible. Here's a few more things on the end. I was given the diamond here and beads, and my mum, who's been going through chemo this year, she made me this little dangle to go on as well, to be a part of the whole process. So it's been a labour of love. It's been an incredible challenge, and for all those students who may watch with their parents, my mission, I accepted it, and I hope that you have enjoyed having a flick through. So love you all, everyone who helped contribute and cheered me along on the way. And for those of you who are not part of the school community that I belong to, I hope you've enjoyed having a look at our altered book / junk journal / mission almost impossible.